Raymond is in the studio with me, and we're talking about hip hop or rap. And it's poetry, isn't it? Rap is a form of poetry.
It
It's
is, yeah.
it's like it's rap artists are like the new poets.
Exactly, yeah. That's what we are. We're the poets of the future, I suppose. You know, like back in the day, you had the likes of Shakespeare. These days, you have the likes of M.c.Dubh.
I think there was Geoffrey Chaucer. I think there's a TED talk or there's some sort of talk I was listening to about rap artists and about that it is a form of poetry. And Chaucer was the first to introduce that kind of kick at the end of the line, you know, that emphasis on the last word.
Yeah, the hook.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah. I've actually got now that you mention it, I actually can give you an idea of how the hook would sound at the end of it, if you like.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just talk it out. So I could say something like this. I'm a ribbity rap addict. I inject the sounds of the beat automatic. I don't like silence or I don't like static. I pick up pen and pad the mic and then start to chat it. Music, it runs through my vein like inhaling cocaine, making a stain in the brain of the insane. I'm connecting to your membrane, breaking chains like a runaway train. Get right back in your lane. Musical sounds in my head are my addiction. I don't need drugs or any other type of mission. I relax in my room like a man out fishing. So please stop your arguing and quit your bitching. My trigger's on my microphone, my woman's in the kitchen. I'm M.c.Dubh and hey, thanks for listening. I pick up the mic and make the thing glisten like gold. So get diggity down to the old school sound of the underground. Take it up, then move it back down. So that's, as you can see, I was emphasising the end of each sentence to bring the rhyme back around. So you do that and it would be like you do like 4 lines. The end of each line, that's the part that needs to rap. That's the part that needs to blend in again so that you can rerun it again. So that's an example of it there.
Does it take time? How long did it take you to do that?
For me to come up with something like that, it'll just take me 20 minutes, 20 minutes. Like,
you need what kind of brain could sound quite a weird question, but what kind of brain do you need, or fast thinking to remember the words? Is it the rhythm that you remember, and then one word kind of kicks the next line?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think when I was in school back in the days, I used to hate maths. Right, I used to hate maths, anything like that. But I used to really enjoy science. And I used to really enjoy English. So I used to get on really well with the English teacher. And that was a class that I enjoyed. So I was great at spelling and great at, that kind of thing. But when it came to maths or any type of calculations, it was just completely alien to me, So I think that's what it is. If you have a good sense of understanding and a good, what helps as well is a good vocabulary. So, kids, stay in school, learn as much as you can. And just, whatever you're good at, keep doing it. That's my little advice there. So,
I know you mentioned, and a lot of rap would talk about it. It's kind of can be heavy stuff,
yeah.
But that's the language of the city, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's the language maybe of the poorer part of the city.
Yeah, it could be known as the urban flow. Myself, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth or anything like that, but I just think if you really want something, you can push yourself forward and you can get it. So at the moment, my life, the way I'm living my life, I couldn't have dreamt of. I'm happy with my life as it is, and I couldn't have dreamt, like when I was hanging around, when I was younger, I was thinking, yeah, am I going to be doing this when I'm, what age, when am I going to stop this hanging around the roads? And because it was different when I was younger, it wasn't, it wasn't all kind of Xboxes and talking to your friends from his bedroom to your bedroom or anything like that. It was all, we just kind of hung around in gangs and stuff. So it's changed a lot, it's changed a lot from how it was when I was growing up. So, yeah. It should be.
So I can see the importance of how like rap, if you like, is something alien to me because I wouldn't have heard it growing up, and I would have developed my own style of what I'd like to listen to.
Yeah.
But then,
And then you met me.
no, there's some rap, there's some American. I don't know their names, but there's one in particular there, but 11, 12 years ago that I really liked. I can never remember the name of it, and it just really, the beat of it just really, and
catch you.
Yeah, sometimes the beat just catches you, and I know some lyrics can be just too. Some of them can be too nasty for me, for what I understand, and I like to understand why and where it comes from, and I can't judge it because I wouldn't have come from the background that some people would be coming from.
Yeah.
And if you look at love hate, it kind of gives an example of what the other side of Dublin life can be like for some people. That it can be a violent life, and it can be full of drugs and alcohol. And youngsters caught in that trap, they're expressing what they're feeling.
Yeah, yeah.
And so on that level, I can understand that it's a powerful tool for expressing what you're feeling. And it's important too, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, you see, for me, like I've had, but you know, this is my spin on it. You know, other people might have their other opinions, but for me, it's you can look at the music that I listen to, and it gives you a strength. It gives you a strength that is like, you know, you can't touch me, you can't do nothing to me. It gives you a strength inside that helps you progress on to the next day. And as you know, even in this society, in this Irish society, suicide it's something that's, you know, struck home with me on a personal level, you know, with friends and so on, losing friends and stuff like that. But you know, it just drew out a strength in me, and I wanted to bring that strength out to other people and let other people hear that strength and take something from it, because you know some people can't handle it. Some people can't handle life, you know. So I believe what I would hope is that the Irish people get a strength from what I do. The right people, you know. I want it to reach the right people. Someone's having a bad day, you know, go and listen, and they switch on my music, they switch on a song of mine, and it gives them a little bit of a kick and says, look, we'll do it again tomorrow and we'll see how we get on, you know.
So it's your way of making a difference in this world.
Yeah.
And with what you understand is your life experience, and you're sharing that with others.
Yeah, it's worked for me, so you know, I'm hoping, you know, that I can reach some people. And I know some of my lyrics are, you know, are kind of not the normal Irish hip hop that you'll hear, but I'm not the average. I'm not the average Joe, you know. I'm not the average.
I know you
guy.
have toned down some of them for this show.
Yeah,
a little bit.
So you can hear some of it. Some of it is, some of the language is skipping in it and so on. So that's just for you.
I normally play. I normally play maybe something from the 40s or.
Yeah.
No, I like all kinds of music, but it has its purpose, because I was just reading, just telling you about a TED Talk.
That's right.
About an American teacher, and he's reaching kids in New York schools, public schools, which can be the toughest schools in the world, through hip hop. They're learning science, and so equations. So I might play that next week.
Yeah.
But going back to you, and in that song, that grime song that we played, we heard, you talked about integration.
Yeah. And
your father, you said, was from Nigeria.
That's correct. Yeah.
So has it been hard for you integrating into? Because to me, you're Irish through and through, because you have the language and you have the accent. And
yeah.
But would you have noticed a difference in? Would you felt different or?
That's a really good question, because I just remember when we first moved to Waterford. Waterford was kind of, as regards, you know, with multicultural society, it wasn't kind of up there with the likes of London or New York or something. But it was strange. I remember kind of walking up the road and you'd see people stopping and looking as if it was the circus had come to town, you know. And from then on, it was just like when I moved to Ballybeg, it was just Ballybeg, just the people there are, I don't care what anybody says, but the people there are amazing, and they just really took me under their wing. And, you know, I'm just happy that I landed in there. And like, you know,
great community.
Yeah, it's a fantastic community. It's a great community spirit out there. And I hope it stays that way.
Okay, do you want to play one more of your tunes, songs? What do you call them? Raps?
Yeah, you can call it rap. There's one there. The next one is called Apes in the Jungle. So.
Okay, and this is Apes in the Jungle.
Jello beats, holla at me.
I don't give a damn if you're black, white or yellow. I'll still say hello, cause I'm that mellow fellow. Blowing trees like a bellow in a meadow. Every single rhyme I write turns just like a riddle. I think that girl in the middle, till she talks she piddle. She stood up in the puddle, feeling all in a muddle. I told my crew in a huddle, let's go stack them bundles. If they wanna rumble, let's take it to the jungle. I'm like an ape in this jungle. I'm like an ape in this jungle. I'm just an ape in this jungle. Black, white, yellow, apes in this jungle. Check out my behavior, I'm like Mr. Joe Frazier. It's cold like a glacier, big enough to combat danger, then amaze ya. Watch how I raise ya, shocking like a taser, then slice you with a razor. I'm like an ape in this jungle. I'm just an ape in this jungle. I'm like an ape in this jungle. Black, white, yellow, apes in this jungle. Black Paddy on a mission, by my own admission. Come head to head, it's like a nuclear fission. And in addition, you'd wanna quit your I'd roll over your head with my back roll like a Michelin. Living the life like O'Reilly. Knock your fat on your back like I'm Ali. When I square you up down the alley, I fight you like wild man from the African Valley. Yeah. I'm like an ape in this jungle. I'm like an ape in this jungle. I'm like an ape in this jungle. Black, white, yellow, ape in this jungle. I'm the man, I won't let Babylon close. My speakers boast, overdose makes you pee from your nose. I won't boast, but raise a toast to the host with the most on the southeast coast. If I'm not gonna make it, at least I'm not gonna fake it. But when I know that's it, maybe sure I'll take it. Yeah. Check it out. I'm like an ape in this jungle. Ask my pals, I'm not a bad person. Try fuck with me, family, see my mood worsen. First you see anger, then you hear cursing. The rest is history, just go get your hearsing. I'm just an ape in the jungle. Yeah, I'm just an ape in the jungle. Just an ape in this jungle. Black, white, yellow, apes in this jungle. M.c.Dubh. Up in the place. I had another line to do, but phone is people like mad. Yeah! Yeah! Ha!
It's called Apes in the Jungle, and it's kind of very, there's like an anger in the words. And does that come from, I know if I lived in the middle of a city, I think I would be extremely frustrated and angry. And because I love trees, I love nature, I love being outdoors. Nature does actually release tension and frustration in you. But if you're a child growing up in the middle of a city and you've no escape, can you imagine there must be utter frustration and anger?
Yeah, there is, you know, like, say, for instance, like living in London, hanging around over there, there'd be kind of, you know, we'd be hanging around in flats or obviously you're at home as well and you try and do what your parents are telling you to do. But when you go out then, you know, there's just so much to do, but there's so much not to do as well. So that's, you know, that's why the importance of youth clubs around the city and, you know, people pushing people forward and giving them a chance. Because, if the kids, if the youngsters, like, if they have nothing to do, they get into trouble. That's just how it is. Even if you're in your own home, if you've got 3 kids running about, if you have some activities for them to do, if you have some painting for them to do, or some Lego, or, they have something to do. But if there's nothing to do, you're going to end up with your curtains pulled down, you might have a window pane broke, or, the dog running away from you on fire, that kind of thing.
So that song, would that be a release of anger and frustration? Would that have been your way of getting rid of it?
Yeah, that's just my way. So what I'll do is I'll go into the studio, and if I'm feeling a certain way, I'll just grab the pen, grab the paper, and I'll just write something.